it's just Jada and I am back with another video. Okay, so this is part 2 to my original LA Fashion District video that I uploaded about 2 weeks ago. So I promised you guys a part 2, and in this video I'm just going to be talking about what you need prior to going to the fashion district. I know some people are going for the first time and they may not be sure things they need to bring, things they should have, what they shouldn't bring, you know, how to prepare for the start of their business, hopefully. So if you guys are interested in this content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Okay, so if you guys see me looking down, I have a few notes. So once again, this is just things that you should have prior to going to the LA Fashion District to find vendors. Now, you don't have to do these things, and you can just do a look and see if you want to, but that's kind of a waste of time. So just take my advice, okay? Good. So first I would say you need to have a business name, okay? You need to have a business name. You need to make sure that nobody in your area has that business name and that business name is not registered to anyone else other than you. So you need to do your research with that and choose a business name. Now, when choosing a business name, think really hard about it, because it's definitely going to represent your business, and you don't want it to be like something crazy or just something that's really unprofessional and you know you're going to change it later on. So just to avoid that, you want to make sure you have a pop-in business name, okay? The second thing that you want to do is register your business. Now, before we kind of get into that, I do want to let you guys know that every state is different as far as what they require from you to run a brick and mortar business or a online business. So you have to check all of that out. So you want to register your business. Some states require you to register it with the city that you're in, the county that you're in, there's so many other names that certain states use. So the township that you're in, you want to go to wherever your city hall is and see what they require from you to register your business with the state as well as the city that you may be in. The third thing that you want to do is to get a state and or federal tax ID. Like I said, some things are different depending on where you live, but you want to make sure you get a federal ID, EIN number. That is absolutely free. So you definitely want to do that if you're wanting to have a legitimate business. You have to, and you definitely want to, as well as seeing what is required by your state. Now, back to number 2 with registering your business, that's not always free. So just kind of put a couple dollars to the side, because some of these things aren't free. So you probably need about maybe like $200. Okay, so number 4, you want to apply for any licenses or permits that you may need for your business. Now, if you're doing e-commerce and you're doing apparel, more than likely you're not going to need a permit. It's just more so a business license, and you have to check with your city as well as your state. For me, the area that I live in, they do not require a online business to have a business license / permit. So it all just depends on where you live. And number 5, you want to open a business bank account before leaving for LA. The reason I say that is because now you're starting to track your purchases, and all of those kinds of things. You want to be able to know how you're spending money, where you spent your money, and all of those type of things. Just because I'm sure when you go to LA, you're not just going there to browse around and do nothing. You're hoping to find vendors to put merchandise in your store. So what better way to do that than to already have your bank account with your name on there, you know, just to kind of help along the way, help stay organized, as well as help build some of that business credit. So last but not least, I'll go back to it and we'll make this number 6. Like I said, having about $200 to get all of your licenses, permits, and all of those type of things. Just making sure you have that money to fund and start your business correctly. So those are, I guess, the paperwork that I would highly recommend you have before leaving. You need it. If you leave and try to go there without some of this information, you are not going to be able to purchase items, because you need a sales tax number for your state. If your state requires it, if you pay taxes on merchandise, you have to have one of those. If you get there and you don't have that, then basically you're not going to be able to buy shit. You may be able to buy some things. Like some places don't ask you for it. They just ask your business name and they'll sell you the merchandise. But some places are very, very strict about that, and they will not sell you anything without that documentation. So I highly recommend when you go, you have all of that documentation before getting there. Okay, so now that we have the documentation, the seventh thing that you need to do is decide where you're going to stay. So you want to look at the address for the fashion district. You want to go find the address, and I'll link it in the description box. And then go on Airbnb and search for places, or a hotel if you want to stay at a hotel. Search for places that are in the area. Okay, so I know that the fashion district is in East LA. So when I went to look for places to stay on Airbnb, I purposely search for those places. You don't want to be so far away, or like by the airport, which is like 30 minutes away, or in another area, and then you have to make that commute, and then you're kind of wasting time, because really your sole purpose is to find vendors. So why do you want to be 30 minutes away from where you need to be, especially with traffic and all of those kinds of things? So take in account for that. The next thing that I would suggest is number 8. Decide how you're going to get around. Do you want to be riding public transportation? That's up to you. Do you want to Uber everywhere? You absolutely can. Or do you want to get a rental so that you're free to go where you need to go and be where you need to be in a good amount of time? So doing, those things are very, very important, just to maximize your time. You want to absolutely maximize your time. And then number 9, packing. Okay, so if you know that you are there to bring back items that you purchase, what I would suggest is doing one of 2 things. You can either check empty bags and have them with you, and then fly back, fill them up when you get your items and fly back. Or you can buy bags in like Santee Alley, buy some cheap bags, fill those up when you're there, and then fly back with the bag, so you don't have to pay both ways. Or if you want, you can just pay for the shipping directly from the store, and then have those items shipped to your business address or shipped to wherever you are keeping your inventory. So there is also that option. Another thing, take adequate clothing. When you go, take adequate clothing. Check the weather. You're going to be walking. I know it's LA and people want to get cute, but you're there for your business, so you need to be dressed for that, meaning comfortable clothing, tennis shoes. I would highly recommend bringing like a crossbody bag or a small book bag. That way you can put like a notebook in there and something to hold any information or receipts that you may have along the way. Okay, you guys. So that was basically like my 10th thing. So I hope that some of those things are very helpful to you. I'm going to link the Airbnb that I stayed at in the description box, in case any of you guys are looking for a place to stay that is relatively close to the fashion district. I was about 15 minutes away. And then I will also leave the name of the car rental place that we used, which was fairly cheap. one when we were in LA as well. So I'll link all of that information down below. So hopefully this was really, really helpful for all of you entrepreneurs out there. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything, and give my video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. So thanks guys so much for watching, and until next time.